Hello, and welcome back to the one and only Riley Brakefield Show. I am your host, I am your boy, I am your daddy, I am your father, I am whatever you want me to be. But most importantly, I'm your boy Titties. What's up? What's going on? I hope everyone had a good weekend. Hopefully you're listening to my podcast. Get your Monday started off right. Get your body right. Get your mind right. That's what I'm here for. Hopefully you won all your bets. Hopefully, you got laid. Hopefully everything that you wanted in life happened this weekend. Everything you needed, I hope that happened for you. I had a good weekend. Like I told Friday show, my mom's here. Been having good food, been showing her around. Went 6 for 16 on my bets. This fake report, I haven't crunched the numbers. Let's see. Wake Forest money line, that missed. My game of the year, Kansas Duke, that hit, so that was pretty exciting for me. 1-0 in my game of the year, so you could say I'm kind of on a hot streak for those. Let's see what's the other ones. I can't even remember them. Let's see. Oh, I have my card right here. I'm pretty sure. One sec, boys and girls. UNC minus 1.5. That missed. Mizzou plus 7.5. That hit. TCU, SMU over 7.5. That hit. The Bills, Dolphins didn't get the over. The Lions, Vikings didn't get the over. They literally hit 52. And we'll see what happens with the 49ers tonight. I'm not watching the game. I'm over it. I'm over NFL. I'm over the shitty play calling. I'm over the lack of scoring. It's just, if you like the NFL more than college football, I don't think we can be friends. I don't think I can know you. I don't think you can do my taxes. You can't be my friend. You can't crack open a beer with me. Just absolutely none of it. The NFL is so boring compared to the college football. Like 1,000 times more boring, in my opinion. But I don't know. Today's show, just gonna be talking about the games this weekend. A couple takeaways, my thoughts, my opinions, if you care to listen to them. A couple news articles, a couple news things I want to hit, and then just finish off with just my thoughts. Segment of the show, pretty good one today. I think some people might enjoy it. I don't know, might clip it out, might make me go viral. Who knows? Probably not. That's never gonna happen to me. Just self-deprecating comedy. That's all I do. So don't take any of that literal. Okay. Herm Edwards, let's get right into it. Herm Edwards had people within his staff leaking information about their game plan to the other teams, which I'm like, how? Why? Personally, for me, if I found out that there was a certain member of the staff that did that, I wouldn't want them on my staff moving forward, or to come, picking them up because you need a wide receiver coach or something like that. Like, I personally wouldn't want someone like that on my team, because how are you supposed to trust somebody that is basically a fucking rat? Like, what? I don't know. I thought that was crazy. I couldn't believe it. It's a sad deal. I love Herm Edwards. I was really rooting for Arizona State. I was really hoping to get turn that program around, make it into something. And I think Arizona State is a better job than Nebraska, personally. They don't have the money and the resources that they do, but it's a better area of the country, whatever. Speaking of college coaches, Jeff Collins got fired at Georgia Tech. A lot of people want Deion Sanders to get that job. You think about somebody who has Atlanta ties, Georgia Tech's based in that Atlanta area. Someone that has Atlanta ties, someone that can already recruit. We've seen that this year. He tore it up, got Travis Hunter to go to Jackson State, of all places. I would love to see him go to Georgia Tech, or just any program, really. But I think Georgia Tech would be cool. Just, he could build a real cool culture there, especially like with that Atlanta area. It'd be fun to see, another team in the ACC to really start being competitive. And Mac Jones, looks like he hurt his ankle pretty bad. He was limping and then grimacing off. That could be a huge loss for the Patriots, but I don't know. I didn't think I saw anything else today about that, but it didn't look very good. So now let's get into my takeaways from this weekend's college football games. We're just gonna start it right off. Get hot, steamy, get it going. Georgia may not be the best team in the country like we thought they were, or Kent State might be a top 10 team in the country. It just depends on how you want to look at it. They only beat Kent State by 10 points. They did not. They finally allowed some touchdowns. Maybe they got compliant. You think about when you dominate everybody, every now and then you might just be like, what, screw this. Like, I don't care. You don't put that extra effort in. But I don't know. Like, one thing that I am starting to understand about this college football season is I think every single team is beatable. Alabama's beatable, Georgia's beatable, Clemson's beatable, Ohio State's beatable, Michigan is very beatable. I think they're a bunch of fucking frauds still. That's beside the point. It's just everyone seems like there's a very good likelihood that they will lose one game at least at some point this year, maybe even two. Like, I mean, there's some teams that look really good, but then weeks they look really bad. I just would be really surprised if we made it out of this season with a team going all the way undefeated. It's not like 2019 LSU, 2020 Bama. We don't have those teams that you're like, I don't think anyone's gonna beat them. So that's just where I'm. This is how I'm seeing things shake up this year. Arkansas Texas A&M game was a wild ride. Arkansas missing that field goal, just killing it right on the top. Like, I saw a tweet about if it would have just sat there. Like, could you imagine if it somehow got stuck up there and just sat there, and then it just somehow fell in like weeks or months later? That'd be kind of cool. But I felt so bad for the fact that the broadcast. Why did they keep showing the kid's face? He already missed a field goal. He already probably hates himself. He probably already wants to sue himself. And you're going to sit there and keep showing his poor face. I felt so bad for the kid. They literally cut in. All right, cut out, cut in. Like, consistently. Leave the poor fucking kid alone. Like, we know he's probably going through it right now. It was unreal. And I don't know. It's kind of made me think, like, what is going on with coaches, especially in college and the NFL? Well, I guess that's only two football leagues I don't watch high school football. But what is going on lately with where they're just all settling for field goals? I mean, the play calling just always seems so weak. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. And why are you sitting there, like, not pushing the effort? I mean, we've seen really good field goal kickers miss this year. It's just, I don't know, blows my mind. By far the biggest upset of the weekend had to be Kansas State over Oklahoma, and Kansas State just absolutely owns Oklahoma. 3 out of the last 4 meetings they beat them. Like, they always seem to be ruining Oklahoma's season early on. Like, they're like, top 10 team, top 5, whatever, and then boom, they lose to Kansas State, and it's like all starts crumbling down for them. Speaking of Brett Venables, Clemson seemed like they could really, really use his defensive play calling against Wake Forest, and God, did that piss me off, man. I wanted that win for Wake Forest so bad. I love Sam Hartman, dude. I think the kid's just a winner. I love that where Wake Forest is going. Like, I wanted it. It was like going to be such a big win for them at home. Shake up the ACC. Prove that Clemson's not good. But somehow Clemson just sneaks right through. And it's very, very frustrating. But I think Clemson will get their day in hell soon. It's coming. Kansas should be ranked. That's probably by far the most criminal act of the AP Top 25 this week. Like, they should be sent to, what is that? What's that island out? Alcatraz. They should be sent out to Alcatraz and have to live the rest of their lives there, because how do you leave Kansas off? Like I said last Friday, their resume is better than Alabama's, the number 2 team in the country. Alabama beat Texas. That's it. Kansas has beat a very good West Virginia team and a very, very good Houston team. Both of those teams are very good, and they beat West Virginia on the road, and they might even beat Houston came to them. 2 very solid wins. Duke was looking good this year. I mean, Duke kept up. They scored points as well. And you're just going to leave Kansas off? Like, what the fuck? It just doesn't make sense to me. Sadly, Texas, they're not back. They lost an overtime game on a field goal to Texas Tech, and just the way that Texas and Texas Tech always play, just incredible fashion. I got the over on that one, so I was happy at least. That's all that mattered to me. Minnesota, they beat the absolute dog shit out of Michigan State. Michigan State, that loss to Washington really showed that they're not that good. And I just kind of thought about it. I've been seeing a lot of stuff online about these schools, their student sections not showing up, and like Michigan State's schedule is a perfect example. They played two really easy opponents, and then they played a really good Washington team and then a really good Minnesota team. And then tying that into the kids not showing up at the stadiums and stuff, it's like, how do you want to go when you are expected to win? When you know it's not a good opponent, how are you supposed to want to go? If you have other shit you need to get done, other stuff you want to do, like, it's not just the student section, it's the fan base. It's like, we should win this. If we don't win this, there's a problem. Like, to show up to every game, like, change the schedule. If you want kids and people to come to every game, change the scheduling. Schedule real legit opponents so that people want to come watch that. Ooh, this game has a chance of being good. It's not just, oh, here we go, Ole Miss versus Tulsa. Like, that's a boring ass game. Ole Miss beat the shit out of them, dude. That's just, oh, Stephen F. Austin. They beat like D3 school 98-0. Like, what the hell? Like, that's not fun for anyone involved. I mean, maybe for Stephen F. Austin, but for the fans and stuff, you're like, at a certain point, you're like, okay, this is boring. Ready to go home. Like, you want to see good competition. You don't necessarily always want to see a blowout. No one does. So, I don't know. Something that I just think, I wish the scheduling would change. Joel Klatt put out a really good video on how to fix it, and I loved it. I think for the playoff format that we have in the future, perfect. But USC barely escaped Oregon State, dude. And I had that Oregon State money line. I had it. That's the other thing. If you followed the Pray for Chaos parlay that I put out on Saturday morning, Oregon State lost by 3 to USC. Washington State lost to Oregon by 4. Maryland, they were there, but then they kind of got blown out at the end. Baylor was the only part of that cashed. They beat Iowa State. And then who was the one other? Wake Forest. Wake Forest barely lost in overtime. They, like, all 4 played the game really close. Maryland was the only one that kind of lost it there at the end, but very frustrated. I was like, oh, because it was a good payout. It was a very good payout. Miami looked really, really, really bad against Middle Tennessee State. Middle Tennessee State beat the shit out of them. Miami's definitely not a top 25 team, and definitely their wide receivers being hurt and stuff definitely impacted them in that game. They're not as good as they're supposed to be. That's okay. It happens, but I don't know. The ACC is very wide open this year, and I'm definitely very intrigued to see who's going to win. I still am rooting for Wake Forest. You know, that's who I'd love to see. Let's see North Carolina. I mean, they barely lost to Notre Dame, which that one hurt too. You know, I was just fucking hate fucking Notre Dame. Bunch of losers and sorry-ass crybaby bitches is what they are. But I love North Carolina, so what are you going to do? Moving to the NFL, you know, only quick couple thoughts because I hate it so fucking much. It grinds my gears. I hate betting it. I hate watching it. I don't know how anyone can choose the NFL over college football. Like, I know that you can say the defenses are better, but the play call in the NFL is horrible, and it grinds my gears. The Dolphins are the only undefeated team in the NFL right now. Everyone's probably going to be up on hoopla about it, but don't get too excited, guys, because you have to remember, at one point last year, the Panthers were 4-0 last season, so they sucked at the end of the season, so there's always that possibility. The Buccaneers offense looks like it's in shambles. Brady looks like he needs to be put into a retirement home or go spend time with his family and just be like a grandpa because he looks god-awful. He just moves slow. Like, I watched that one. It's boring. It's boring again. Like, you guys have all this offensive firepower, but you can't do anything. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Push the ball down the field. Lily, shoot up! Freaking cat is all having a hoopla fest over there. Jeez Louise. Hold on. If you're watching and listening, I gotta let the cat out. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. Now she's gonna... Now she runs away. Whatever. She can wait till I'm done here. Having a shit show. Raiders are the only 0-3 team in the NFL after losing to the Titans today. And I don't really know how to feel about it. Like, I know the Raiders are supposed to be a very good team. They have tons of talent. 0-3 and more than likely not going to make the playoffs at this point. So who knows? Shut up! Jeez, I fucking hate that cat sometimes, man. Jaguars beating the Chargers. That was by far the biggest surprise of the weekend. I just don't even... Chargers are going to charge her, I guess. They're always shooting themselves in the foot. The AFC is very weird so far this year. The teams that you thought were going to be good are not performing very good. So, Bengals finally got a win against the goddamn Jets. So that was pretty cool. But that's talking NFL because I don't really have any capacity in my brain to talk about it today. I'm sorry if that's why you want to listen to today's episode. It's just so boring to me, and I just can't stand it. And the pace and the play calling and everything about the NFL. I'm like, there's no reason that there should only be one team scoring over 30 points. That's ridiculous. I know that there's such thing as good defense, but there's also such thing as being a professional athlete. I mean, look at the college football championship games. There's guys that are littered on some of those teams that are in the league now, and it's like, Okay, and same with the offense. It's like, how in college are the teams allowing, 30-point games when it's the same type of talent that's now in the NFL? Like, what? It's just, I don't know. It doesn't make me happy. It doesn't make me interested in the NFL. I hate it. I don't care to watch it. It's boring. It's sad. All of the above, if there was an option for that. So this is a little bit of a shorter show today. I have been busy, with my mom in town, just kind of enjoying that, and I didn't really get too many thoughts or get to watch a whole lot of football and stuff like that this weekend. Just didn't, I was just enjoying myself, and that's okay. But today's just my thought segment. It goes along with what I talked about on Friday with Emi Udoka and how people are up in arms about how Brett Favre doesn't get the media coverage for what he did, like hardly at all. Everyone's pissed off about it. ESPN doesn't talk about it, Fox News, CNN, like you name it, they don't talk about it. And I understand the frustration because they, especially for black people, you feel like just because a black basketball coach messed up, he's getting slandered every which angle, but the white guy doesn't mess up. Or the white guy messes up, sorry. The white guy messes up and there's just no one talks about it. No one seems to care. No one gives a shit. When in reality, the public cares and everyone's like, that's so fucked up. He deserves jail time. Like, why are you stealing from the poorest people in our country? But that is a theme with today's world. I am so over the mainstream media, the big outlets, because you know why? They don't talk about that stuff, especially ESPN, because you know why? They're a bunch of rich white liberals. I'm sorry, that's point blank period. They do not want to talk about somebody that they associate themselves with because they do the same shit. They don't want to, oh, well, he did this, because they do the same shit. And the people from ESPN saying, not enough coverage about it, then say something at your fucking job. You fucking losers. Don't go bitch to Twitter to make yourself look good. Fucking go on your fucking stupid ass shows that no one even fucking watches anymore and say something about it. Don't go to Twitter and act like you're all cool and mighty and like, oh, why don't we talk about this? When you have shows, you have TV shows that you go on where you can be like, hey, you know what? We should talk about this. But you don't. None of you don't. It's a fucking disgrace to everyone involved. No one cares about the stupid shit. No one cares that Emi Udoka cheated on his wife. I mean, we care because it's funny and we prefer humor. But the fact that everyone goes to Twitter saying, why are we not talking about this? Why aren't you talking about it? Why aren't you going on your TV shows? Why aren't you going on to your network and say, hey, this deserves recognition. This deserves to be talked about, because it does. Don't go to Twitter and act all high mighty and like you wish that we could do something to change. Be the change. Don't go to the internet to bitch and act like you're there to help people make things better, because you're not. You're just like every other self-centered motherfucker like the rest of us. You don't give a shit about anybody's feelings. You don't care about what Brett Favre did. You care what Emi Udoka did because it's gossip. Everyone loves gossip. And you don't want to talk about Brett Favre because you do the same shit. Every single one of you. You can bitch all you want online and say it doesn't get enough recognition. Go to your fucking head offices, go to your producers, whatever it is, and say, hey, I'm talking about this or I'm getting fired. That's what you should do. Not bitch to make yourself look better. Actually talk about it. But that's just my thoughts. That's just my show. And if you stuck around for the whole time, I appreciate you. It was amazing. I love all of you. I know it was a shorter show today. I apologize, but I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Put those words in your head. Like, share, subscribe. Send it to your parents, your aunties, your uncles, your girlfriends, your cousins, whatever. And send it to those stupid motherfuckers who bitch on Twitter about this and tell them to actually make a change. I love you, but for now, your boy Titties is out.